Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Shatin Sawati is here and welcome to Biosciences with Shatin Sawati. As I have started my fourth series of the lecture that is about the cell biology, and from the cell biology series, today I'm going to deliver my second lecture, and this lecture will be about the cell structure and function. But before discussing the cell structure and function, I have a very humble request to all of you. If you people did not subscribe my channel, kindly subscribe my channel, promote the education, like my videos, share my videos. If you are sharing the lectures, you are sharing the knowledge. So keep watching, keep sharing knowledge with others, and kindly do viral the educational content, anything related to education. Okay, now I'm going to start the cell structure and function. You people familiar with the cell, what is basically the cell is now, but today you will learn the cell in a very different way, and you will be able to define the cell scientifically, and you will learn a lot, and you will see the different types of the cell and their differences, their similarities, and many more. As you can see here, on the screen, the two cells, prokaryotic cell on the left side and the eukaryotic cell on my right side, and I will discuss all these things, all these cells one by one. So first of all, what is cell? As I have discussed in my previous lecture about the cell theory, so must watch my first lecture from the cell biology series, and you will learn about the discovery of the cell and the cell theory. So what is basically the cell? Cell is derived from the Latin word cella, meaning small rooms. That means small room. It is the basic structural, functional, and biological unit of all known organism. Or you can simply say that this is the building block of life, or the simple block of life, or brick of the building of life. So the study of cell is called the cellular biology, or cellular cell biology, or cytology. Cell consists of now the components of the cell. Cell basically, cell meaning, you learn about the study of the cell, which is cell biology, cellular biology, and now the component parts of the cell. Cell consists of the cytoplasm enclosed within a membrane, which is known as the plasma membrane. And in some cases, the plasma membrane, like in plants and bacteria and fungi, the cell membrane is also enclosed or by the another wall, which is known as the cell wall, which I will discuss it later on, which contain many. Now the cytoplasm contain many biological molecules or biomolecules, such as proteins and nucleic acid and many carbohydrates and lipids and many more. Most plant and animal cells are only visible under the light microscope and with the electron microscope. Electron microscope gives a much higher resolution, showing greatly detailed cell structure. Now, organisms, on the basis of the cell, organisms can be divided into or classified into unicellular as well as multicellular. Unicellular organisms are those, uni mean one, cellular means cell. So unicellular organisms are those that consist of just one cell, like amoeba and many bacteria and fungi, yeast, etc. And multicellular including all the plants, higher plants and animals, which multi many cells. So the unicellular organisms are also known as microorganisms. Is it clear? So this is all about the simplest way to introduce the cell, what is, or you can say the simple introduction to the cell, what is cell basically is. Okay. Now that is the structure of the cell by the Robert Hooke first time, which was observed under the microscope of the Robert Hooke in the Koch cell. Okay. That's why they are known as cell, because of the room-like structure, room-like appearance. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss about the eukaryote and the prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell and the prokaryotic cell. What is prokaryotic cell and what is eukaryotic? You will now learn prokaryotic cell. The term prokaryote basically derived from the Greek word. First of all, this is very necessary to know the meaning of that word. So here, pro means before and karyons mean kernel mean nucleus. It translate to before nuclei. Why it is called before nuclei? Student asks why it is called before nuclei are prokaryotes, because the prokaryotes are one of the most ancient groups of the living organisms on the earth. When there was nothing on the earth, there were there were prokaryotes. Okay, so that's why they are known as prokaryotes. And you can see here with fossil records dating back to almost 3.5 billion years ago. So you can see here in the figure on the screen the simple prokaryotic cell, and this is the structure of the prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell are those cells which do not possess the nucleus. They are the simplest, and these microorganisms do not possess nucleus. They have very simple structure. You can see here, this is the outermost layer, which is the capsule. In some cases capsule is present, in some cases capsule is not present. So this is the capsule, which is the outermost layer, and inside the capsule you can see here the cell wall. This is the cell wall. And inside the cell wall, you can see the third layer, which is the plasma membrane. And inside the plasma membrane, you can see the fluid-like material, which is the cytosol, mean what? Cytosol? Cytoplasm. And inside the cytoplasm, you can see here a region in which the chromosome is present. And that region is known as nucleoid region, because nucleus is absent and the chromosome present directly in the cytoplasm, and that region is known as nucleoid region. And must keep it in your mind that chromosome is single chromosome in case of the prokaryotes, means they are haploid. As compared to eukaryotes are diploid. Double number of chromosome, but they have just one chromosome, and that chromosome directly present in the cytoplasm, and that region is known as nucleoid region. Now in the cytoplasm, all the organelles, membrane bounded organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, absent in case of the prokaryote, because prokaryotic cell is simple. This is the simplest cell. So that's why all the complex organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cell. Just simplest one, small organelle, which is the ribosome. Ribosomes are present, and these ribosomes, as compared to the eukaryotic ribosomes, are smaller in size, and these ribosomes are 70S. Smaller. In eukaryote, they are 80s, but in this prokaryotic cell, they are 70s ribosomes, which help in protein synthesis. Okay. Now the concept about the nucleoid region, clear? And cell wall, cell membrane, the outermost capsule, and that capsule is also, you can see here, the scattered cilia are present, cilia-like structure, which is known as pilli or pilli. Pillis, one, pilli, for many. And these pillis are used by the bacteria for conjugation processes. I will discuss what is conjugation, which is the, you can say that some sort of sexual reproduction. Conjugation. They use for these pili for conjugation. And you can see here the flagella. Some bacteria have single, some have many flagella. So these flagella help in the what? In movement, locomotion of the bacteria. And you can see here also the food granules. Food granules are present because they don't have the digestive system and many other systems. So simplest food granules present, and these food granules are you can say that digested by the help of enzymes and many. So here, that is very important structure, that is the plasmid, which is, plasmid is the circular strand of DNA, circular ring of DNA. So the circular ring of DNA is also present. This plasmid is not present all the prokaryotic cell or bacteria. In some absent, and in most the plasmid is present, and that plasmid is used as a vector in recombinant DNA technology. Okay. So this is all about the structure of the prokaryotic cell. Is it clear? Each and everything is now clear upon you people. Now I'm moving towards the next cell, which is the eukaryotic cell. Now what is the meaning of the eukaryote? Eu means true and karyons are good. And karyons kernel nucleus. Good are true nuclei. Like prokaryotes do not possess any nucleus, but eukaryote possess nucleus, have nucleus. Eukaryotic cell has nucleus. So they have nucleus and prokaryote do not have nucleus. This is the major difference between the prokaryotes and you. And you can see many more differences. Like the in case of the prokaryotes, there is no organelle, membrane bounded organelle. Just ribosomes, which are smaller in size, present in the cytoplasm, and no nucleus and nucleoid region, which contain the single chromosome. But in this case, you can see here, this is the complete structure of the eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell consists of the outermost layer, which is the cell membrane. That is, in case of the plants, I will show you, are fungi covered with the another wall, which is known as the cell wall. But now here, simple eukaryotic cell, you can see this is the cell membrane, which is the outermost boundary, and inside the cell membrane there is a liquid present, which is known as cytosol or cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm, you can see here in the mid there is a not in the true mid, beside that there is a nucleus, and that nucleus contains the diploid number of the chromosome, and inside the nucleus you can see here the rounded structure that is known as nucleolus. This nucleolus is actually the factory for the ribosome formation. I will discuss it later on. So nucleolus is the region in which the ribosome synthesize with the help of the ribosomal RNA. So this is the nucleus. In nucleus, what is present? Chromosomes are present, which are diploid number of chromosome. In different species, different number of chromosome present. Is it clear? So this is the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum, you can see here. Golgi bodies, you can see. Ribosomes, lysosomes, all the component, all the organelles present in the membrane bounded and like simplest like ribosomes and lysosomes and peroxisome, glyoxysomes, all the organelles present in the eukaryotic cell. So you can see the difference between the prokaryote and eukaryote. Clear difference is present. You can observe the clear difference between the two. Is it clear? Now I'm moving towards the plant cell and animal cell. You can see this is the animal cell and this is the plant cell. The difference between the plant cell and animal cell is number one, the outermost layer, which is the cell wall, present in the plant cell, but this cell wall is absent in the animal cell. Number one difference. Number two difference, you can see the green color chloroplast present in the plant cell but absent in the animal cell. Second difference. Third difference. Note down all these differences. First difference, presence of the cell wall in plant cell, absence in the animal cell. Second difference, presence of the chloroplast in the plant cell, because plant do photosynthesis and animal cell do not do photosynthesis. So chloroplast present in the plant cell, which give the plant green color and do photosynthesis with the help of that chloroplast. Now the third difference between the animal and plant cell is that in case of the plant cell, you can see the large vacuole we store the water and minerals. But in this case, what will happen? The small vacuoles are present. In animal cell, small vacuoles are present, but in plant cell, large vacuole is present for the storage of the water. Number fourth difference. First difference, second difference, third difference. Now number four difference. Centriole present in the animal cell but absent in the plant cell. And that centriole, you know that centriole help in the cell division, which is present in the animal cell and it is absent in the plant cell. So how do the plant cell will divide or undergo the meiosis? I will discuss it later on. So here, first difference cell wall, second difference chloroplast, third difference vacuole, fourth difference centriole. Is it clear? So these are the differences between the plant cell and animal cell. Okay. Now I am moving towards the differences between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Now what are the differences? Most of the students ask, and you have to write the note in your exam, so must note all these points. It will be helpful for you in your exam and also in your ETA or other tests. Okay, first of all, the comparison between the prokaryote and eukaryote, you can see here. Organisms in this case, in prokaryotes, they are unicellular. Include archaea bacteria and eubacteria. And eukaryotes, fungi, plants, animal, protist, all living organism included in this. But specific like the eubacteria, archaea included in the prokaryotes. Now level of organization. They are single cell, just one cell. But they are single cell as well as unicellular as well as multicellular. Eukaryotes, unicellular like amoeba and many more protists, unicellular, and all the higher organisms are multicellular. Is it clear? Level of organization, single cell and uni to multi. Now, the typical cell size you can see here, small in size, they are large in size. And must mention and note down the size of these two. Okay, the cell wall. The cell wall of the prokaryote is made up of mostly murine. What is murine? Murine is the peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycans mean made up of the protein chains, peptides proteins, and glycans mean uh, glucose units, carbohydrate unit. So murine is the combination of the proteins and carbohydrate. The cell wall is made up of murine. Is it clear? Now, in this case, in case of the fungi, the cell wall is made up of the chitin. Chitin, you know that, also familiar, this is the type of the carbohydrate. And the second one, cellulose. In higher plants, cellulose is present. And cellulose is also the carbohydrate. In this case, you can see murine is present, which is the combination of the carbohydrates and proteins. But in eukaryote, the cell wall is made up of proteins, chitins and cellulose. And chitin and cellulose both are carbohydrate, belong to the carbohydrate group. Okay, now the organelles. Usually none, just ribosomes which are small in size, 78 ribosomes are present. But in eukaryotic cell, all the organelle, endoplasmic Golgi bodies, lysosome, and many more, all are present in case of the eukaryotic cell but absent in the prokaryotic cell. Now, the next one, you can see here metabolism. Metabolism, anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Mostly aerobic. Eukaryotes mostly do aerobic, and they are aerobic and anaerobic both. The concept clear now? Now, the genetic material. Single chromosome is present in case of the prokaryotes, and they are haploid and they are diploid. Is it clear? There are many more differences in the genetic material, and you must watch my genetic series and you will see there about the differences between the prokaryotes and eukaryotes if you need to clear your concept about the differences between the DNA of the prokaryote and eukaryote. Go through my genetic series on biosciences with Shatrin Savadi. Okay. Now the mode of division. They simply divide or increase their number by binary fission. Binary fission, budding. Prokaryotes use budding and binary. But eukaryotes do mitosis. Cell division, mitosis, meiosis, both type of cell division present in the eukaryotes but absent in the prokaryotes. Because prokaryotes have single chromosome, haploid. So there is no division like mitosis and meiosis. But in case of the eukaryotes, the complex mechanism of mitosis, meiosis occur. Because they are diploid and have proper mechanism, channel for mitosis and meiosis. But that is absent in the prokaryote. Is it clear now? Now you can see here the differences through this figure. You can see the nucleus. Here nucleus absent, just nucleide present. Here just ribosomes present. And capsule is present, flagella is present, cell wall is present, which is murine. And you can see here all the organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, lysosome, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, the most important, the main difference between the prokaryote and eukaryote. Is it clear? The concept clear now? You must compare. You note down all these points and make your own notes for your exam. Okay. Now this diagram shows just the similarities. Similarities means the plasma membrane presence in both. Presence of plasma membrane, cytoplasm, DNA. Okay. And ribosomes. Now, I hope so. The lecture will be clear and you will enjoy this lecture. If you enjoy and learn from this lecture, like this lecture, share this lecture with other. I will be back tomorrow inshallah with a new lecture from the biology cell biology series. So after thank you very much and Allah Hafiz.